Zawiya March, they weren't rebels as such. They weren't an army. They weren't even a cohesive unit. They were just a town of civilians, and they picked up whatever weapons they had to defend themselves against this huge Gaddafi military might. I mean, they really weren't an army. There were a couple of defected soldiers who'd moved over to this side, and I mean a couple. There was only about half a dozen or so. Since then, they have been bolstered by, well, the rebel commander for the Western region told me 3,000 extra men who've come in from Zintan and the Nafusa Mountains and other areas which have already been claimed by the rebels. And as soon as they arrived in Zawiyah just a few days ago, the people in Zawiyah who had been waiting for 5 months for this help to arrive opened up their arms and embraced the battle again. In the interim time, they've been really suppressed and repressed. As you know, a number of Sky correspondents who've been covering the conflict have been taken to Zawiyah 1 or 2 times at least by the Gaddafi regime from Tripoli on escorted journalistic trips to be shown how Zawiyah was liberated, in their words, and how happy they were to be living under the Gaddafi regime. Now that proved to be a nonsense. These were people who were bussed in, perhaps paid by the Gaddafi regime, but they certainly weren't representative of the people of Zawiyah, who very much do not want the Gaddafi regime here. They were waiting for help from outside. Over that period of time, they've managed to get what appears to be some sort of training. They've certainly been supplemented by an awful lot extra weaponry and ammunition. And of course, crucially, they've had many more people to help them. A lot of the residents have fled. And actually, a few of the men are now coming back out onto the streets and in the square. So a lot of the families have simply disappeared, if they've been able to, and gone to Zintan and the Nafusa Mountains, where they're going to wait until they feel it's safe enough to return. I can say without a shadow of doubt that was the most traumatic moment of my life, and I think I can say that for my 2 colleagues who were with me, Martin Smith and Tim Millo. Along with the people that we were sheltering with in the mosque, we did not think that we would come out alive, and none of the people that we were with thought that they would come out alive. But it was a real David and Goliath situation then, to come back several months later and see the mosque. Well, there is no mosque. The mosque has been levelled. The mosque where we sheltered with a number of other people from Zawiyah does not exist. It was reduced to rubble, and the rubble cleared away. All it is a flat bit of land now. And to see the square filled with people from Zawiyah and the surrounding towns, so delighted and so incredibly overwhelmed with happiness, is quite something, actually. I think they fought an incredible battle against, it has to be said, against tremendous odds. And now they're so filled with confidence. They were talking days ago about moving on to Tripoli. To them, it wasn't a question of if they were going to recapture Zawiyah. It was just when they were going to do it.